Ozark Technical Community College in Springfield. Let's find out a little bit more about OTCC down in Springfield.
Jeff Houghton at OTC here at the Robert W. Plaster Center for Advanced Manufacturing, brand new building. I'm going to go have a look around. Join me. Check it out. It's Robert Randolph, the executive director of the whole place.
Welcome, Jeff.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, it's like awe-inspiring.
We've designed the facility to be toured, and we want to make it a showcase for advanced manufacturing. So I'm happy to have you here, and I can't wait to show you around.
So what's this area here?
So this is our assembly stair. The reason we implemented this was kind of twofold. First, we had to have some space for students to hang out between classes, and this is a great space for that. But also, because we want this center to be a field trip destination, we need a first stop for a busload of fifth graders. This is a great first stop.
Tell me about this. What is this cool thing in the middle here?
So this is our kind of our feature aspect. This is Micah, which is a robot that is programmed to be interactive for those students that we're targeting to give them an idea of what automation and robotics will do from a manufacturing standpoint. So in this area, you actually get to make something and test it out. So if you want to, grab one of these.
Okay.
You are building a fidget spinner.
These are brass knuckles. No?
Nope, that is a fidget spinner body.
Fidget spinner.
These are actually made in our machine shop here on campus.
This is a 3D architectural model, okay? And it's a house, and it has multi-levels. It has some exterior stuff, so you can walk around on the outside. It's got some people in it.
She looks disappointed in me. And legitimately looks like my wife. And those two things.
Okay, so now this one, you're not
often
going
go
to use
together.
the trigger, but the stop button.
I'm underground?
Grass, actually, yeah.
This is what,
You're in the ground.
this is what worms see?
Yep.
Okay. Going back down to the disappointed wife walkway.
So we're actually looking at 30,000 square feet of real manufacturing shop space where we're also doing training.
This then for that student, maybe they probably don't have any background in this. They come in here for the first time, get their education, move on to a job, and it feels familiar.
Right.
I've never heard of a cabling lab. Will you start with me with that? What's a cabling lab?
Absolutely. So these rooms are configured to teach our students how to cable up like an office building or a building much like this one. One of the tools that we use in cabling class is fish tape. What you're going to do is just reel it in just like you're fishing. Keep it going, and there it is.
Ah, it's a bass.
These cables are now ready to terminate in a jack just like this, and then ready to connect to computers for a reliable and fast connection.
OTC always has an eye towards the student, towards the community.
Right.
What does this lab in particular do for students?
For students in particular, just teaching them about rapid prototyping and about additive manufacturing. A lot of times you say 3D printing and people are like, oh, that's, I don't know how to do that. But it's, a lot easier than most people think.
I bet all these people that do this don't have any trouble at like parties being like,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I do some pretty cool stuff.
Right.
We're down here in the Gene Haas Precision Machining Lab. We've got some great things to show to you today. I think actually let you operate some of this, so don't break anything.
Big mistake.
If you actually want to drop that piece of aluminum on this conveyor belt here, it will feed through this automation system and hit a sensor at the end. It'll tell the robot to take the part, stick it inside the vise. The robot controller will actually close the vise and start taking off and machining it apart. So we start with that block of material you stuck in the machine, and we cut it down into a finished product. There you go.
Do I get to say I made it?
Sure.
What did I do? I just put it on there. I made it.
I hope that you've enjoyed your tour here at the Plaster Manufacturing Center today.
It's absolutely amazing. Like, I like it. My kids would like to come by. And I like it for the community as well.
It's been an honor having you today.
Yeah, come on out. Check out the Robert W. Plaster Center for Advanced Manufacturing at OTC. It's pretty amazing.
Great to see inside the Plaster Manufacturing Center there. And live with us is Robert Randolph, the director at OTCC's Plaster Manufacturing Center. Thanks for joining us for Manufacturing Day, Robert. It's great to see you.
Good to see you, Brian. Thanks for having me. Very excited to get to talk about the Plaster Manufacturing Center today.
Well, you have the shop floor. Why don't you explain a little bit what you do and the career pathways that are available right there at OTCC for students around the state of Missouri?
Yeah. So the Plaster Manufacturing Center is really the regional hub for some of the advanced manufacturing training that you're going to want to have to get into some of these really incredible jobs that we've been hearing about from multiple different employers throughout the state of Missouri. If you want to get a job in one of these facilities, this is a great place to get your start. I do have some slides that I can share if that's okay.
Absolutely. I think we got them pulled up right now.
Yeah, let's go to the next slide. So you got to see a little bit of the inside of the facility on that video earlier, but I wanted to showcase what the outside of our manufacturing center looks like. We've designed this entire center to really showcase the new, advanced, clean nature of manufacturing. And I heard you mention earlier that manufacturing is not that dark, dirty, and dangerous job that sometimes people think about. So we designed our center to showcase that as well. Let's go to the next slide and we can take a look. This is what our community sees. At the corner of a very busy intersection here in Springfield, Missouri, you see a bright, clean manufacturing shop space. We talked about on the video, we have 30,000 square feet of real manufacturing space that we train our students in. And that's what we're looking at on this slide. Half of that space is actually occupied by a business partner that is building custom engineered automated equipment right here on site. It's a really neat project where they lease space and build that engineered automated equipment right here where we're training students to work on the same type of thing. So it's really nice to have that exposure to the real world environment inside of our lab space. Let's see the next slide, please. So we have a variety of different programs that are available to you to study to get started in some of these careers in manufacturing. For most of our students that are on the call today that are maybe in middle school or in high school, the degree programs on the left of the screen are traditional associate degree programs that you can study in. And every single one of those is designed to get you placed into a job that has high demand and high earning potential. On the right side of the screen, we also serve our community and local industry with customized programs. So those are examples of some of those customized programs that we put together for folks that have been in their careers for a little bit. And they're coming back to learn a little bit more, maybe a technical skill, maybe gain some leadership skills if they're in a leadership program inside of their facility. We've heard from multiple employers throughout the day that like to promote from within, and taking advantage of those workforce training programs is a good way for companies to be able to skill people up to prepare them for those next roles. Next slide, please. Let's get into the degree programs because I think these are the ones that really apply to most of our audience today. One of our exciting new degree programs is called Automation and Robotics. This is a pretty new degree program for us. It actually started when we opened the center 2 years ago. It's being funded by the National Science Foundation to get this program up and going because they recognize the need that we have in this region for more skills in the area of robotics and in PLC programming, controls, things like that. You can see great salary at the bottom of that page. That's an average salary that you're going to see somebody with this career field in the state of Missouri. We actually have our first graduates from this program now that we've been open just over 2 years at the Plaster Manufacturing Center. And one of our graduates from this program is employed right here by the company that is leasing space and is now a controls engineer for that company. So it's a really exciting program, exciting to see these students getting jobs in that field. Next slide, please. If you're inclined towards computers, we have a computer information science degree program available for you, and career opportunities in this field are really broad, including programmer, developer, systems analyst, and you can see again great starting salaries. We have about 120 students in this program right now, so it's a very popular program for us. Next slide, please. Cybersecurity is a new program as well as the automation and robotics. This is for those that want to enter the cybersecurity field. They've got an eye towards tech, computer information, but the growing field and the growing demand for cybersecurity is going to continue to add career opportunities for people that study in these fields. So right now we're looking at cybersecurity analysts, IT security administrators. I think we're going to see a continued addition of career possibilities for our graduates of this program as cybersecurity continues to be a big demand. Next slide, please. Now, if you're inclined towards design, maybe you like drawing things, you've got more of an artistic side, or even want to get your foot in the door in the architectural industry, drafting and design is a great program for you. Students will learn how to design mechanical objects, architectural, and even do some civil drafting inside of this program. Great starting salaries, and then good degree pathways outside of just that field. So you get your foot in the door, and there's a lot of career opportunities available after you start in design. Next slide, please. Information technology infrastructure is the hands-on portion of IT. So folks that are interested in computers but don't necessarily want to be a programmer, don't want to be behind a desk all the time, this is the field for you. This is where you can get your hands on. You're the person making cables, setting up networks, and really working with the hardware side of IT. And you can see, again, common theme here, great salaries in these fields. Next slide, please. Manufacturing technology is a degree program that was put together to be very flexible for people that are in their current careers and coming back to school to get a degree. So a variety of different classes can be combined to get this degree completed. And this is a great stepping stone type program for people that are currently employed. Next slide, please. Mechatronics. We heard a little bit of talking about robots and maintenance positions from some of the employers earlier. I remember Toyota mentioned if you like playing with video games, if you think robotics are interesting, mechatronics is a good starting point for you. Mechatronics is a great starting point for anybody interested in an industrial maintenance type field. Next slide, please. Precision machining technology. This is one of our showcase programs. We heard talk from Toyota when they're making those cylinder heads about 5-axis machining. This is the type of program you'll want to come study in if you want to learn CNC machining, multi-axis machining, or even manual machining. This program is where you learn that, and you get to learn in a world-class facility here at the Plaster Manufacturing Center in the Gene Haas Precision Machining Lab. Next slide. Summer programs, and this is one of my favorite aspects of what we do here at the Plaster Manufacturing Center. We offer summer camps in advanced manufacturing as well as in automation and robotics. This summer we had 60 students through 3 separate camps come learn things like welding, machining, drafting, networking, how to program industrial robots. They got to see some of our local manufacturing companies all in a really fun hands-on environment. They all spent a week with us. We always have a lot of great positive feedback from these summer camps. If you're in our region, I encourage you next summer or even spring when we start registration, look into camp options here at OTC. Next slide, please. This is a look at some of the photos from our recent automation and robotics camp. You can see students actually being the ones to program these robots, make their own cables, and actually assemble PCs. Next slide. If you'd like to come see this for yourself, we'd love to give you a tour of the Plaster Manufacturing Center. We give a lot of tours. It's designed to be a field trip destination. We talked about that on the video earlier, but we would love to let you come see this in person to see what OTC is all about and to see what manufacturing might look like for you. So for next steps, email tour@otc.edu and request a tour of the Plaster Manufacturing Center, and we would be happy to have you here on our campus. I think I'll open it up for questions.
I appreciate that, and so detailed. We did have a question come through in the Q&A. Are any of the programs that you highlighted in the presentation offered online? Good question. Kind of hard to do manufacturing online.
Yeah, great question. So many of our manufacturing programs are very hands-on focused, and that's really difficult to offer in an online format. We do have a lot of online offering within our drafting and design program. The program can be completed entirely online, but we do have a very flexible scheduling model. We call it HighFlex, where Only a few class visits per semester are required for each class, and most of the content can be completed online. You can either remote in to our computers if you don't have a computer that can run the software, or you can complete your assignments on your own computer if you do have a computer that can run the software. So it does offer some flexibility from a scheduling perspective and from a geographic perspective, but it does require some attendance in person. The rest of those programs cannot be completed online because of the hands-on nature of the education. Good question.
One last question. If I'm a teacher, how do I get in contact with you to do a tour?
Yeah, so email that tour at otc.edu and ask for a tour of the Plaster Manufacturing Center. That'll put you in touch with our tours group. They'll reach out to me and we will get that scheduled. We would love to have you.
And then one quick question came in from Twin Rivers High School, Mr. Kirkman's class. How much does the summer camp cost?
They're very affordable. The first 2 years of our automation and robotics camp was actually free because the National Science Foundation funded that camp entirely. It won't actually be free next summer, but it's very low cost. For example, the manufacturing camp was $75 for 1 week. So we utilize our good relationships with our local industry to sponsor those camps so that we can keep our costs down to the students and not let cost be a barrier.